Hey guys, it's midnight again, and welcome to Rotting Flesh Movie Reviews. I'm Billy Pop. Thanks for coming. I just gotta say before we start that I always thought the poster for this movie was super cool, and I gotta get one. Halloween 3 Season of the Witch is a 1982 film, so only a year after Halloween 2. It was written and directed by Tommy Lee Wallace, John Carpenter, and Deborah Hill. It stars Tom Atkins as Dr. Daniel Chalice. I call him Dr. Pussyhound and an almost comedically shitty father. We've got Stacey Nelkin playing Ellie. She's like a doe-eyed kind of damsel in distress, and she likes mustache rides and older men, I guess. And we get Dan O'Hurley, and he's our villain, and he plays Connell Cochran. He's a kind of a weird guy who owns a factory, and he makes novelty toys for children, and namely Halloween masks. And there's this jingle that plays on the television. 8 more days till Halloween. I'm not gonna sing it because it's I just can't stand it. But it's there's something to do with this commercial in this factory, and they're making three masks: a pumpkin, a witch, and a skull. And you got to watch the movie, but I'll get to that. I'll get to what I'm thinking later. As if you didn't know, but I'm not, I'm going to say it anyway. Michael Myers is not in this movie. John Carpenter and Deborah Hill thought the Myers story was done, and that a new approach to an anthology might be better for the series. I think in many ways they were right, but the audience didn't think so at the time. This movie flopped and jiggled on initial release, like really bad. So, we open to a man being hunted down by what appears to be a secret society. He's carrying a mask. It's, I think, a pumpkin. I can't remember. It might be one of the pumpkin masks. And seems to have lost a few marbles. He seems kind of crazy. He ends up in the care of Dr. Daniel Chalice, and the old guy warns Dr. Chalice that he just says, "They're going to kill us all," or something like that. Classic, cryptic warning. This man gets murdered by one of this mysterious secret society people who crushes his skull with his bare hands. Pretty fucking brutal scene, actually. It was awesome. When Dr. Chalice chases the man to his car, the man dumps a can of gas on himself and lights himself on fire. Eventually he meets Ellie at the bar. Turns out she's the daughter of the guy who got his head squished. In a strange turn of events, Dr. Chalice decides to help Ellie solve the mystery of who murdered her father. So he just kind of leaves his practice. I guess anyone with medical emergency will just have to wait, I suppose. Kind of weird. Anyway, sorry. Their journey leads them to a small town with a very strange feeling in the air. Like, there are cameras and weird people, and I don't know. Eventually, they end up, investigating Connell Cochran, a man who owns the Silver Shamrock Novelty Company. And that's kind of where the spoilers start, and I don't really want to ruin this, as it's actually a pretty original movie. Like I said, it's got to do with the masks, and the one thing I gotta say about, I'll get to that in the writing, I guess, but the directing felt quite a bit different from the first two. It didn't feel like it captured the vibe of August 31st as well as the first two until the very end. Then it captures it almost better than the first two did. This film's a little dated looking. It has kind of a lot of sci-fi elements that rarely age well over time, obviously. In a weird way, this film feels dirtier, too, though. It's for some reason, I don't know why. Well, I kind of do know why, but I don't want to give that away, because that's where it's got some balls. So, the acting was pretty awesome all around. Tom Atkins really does play a likable, if not a little bit sleazy, dirtbag hero. Ellie is actually quite beautiful to look at, and plays off Atkins really well. Stacy, I forget her last name already. But Connell Cochran is a charming villain with a very sinister edge, and only a real Irishman, I think, could play this character. It just worked so incredibly well. Even some of the throwaway characters were pretty good. Like, there was the drunk. He was awesome. The lady waiting for her mask order, she was kind of entertaining. I don't know. There was a family with a brat kid and stuff. They were all pretty entertaining. Even the motel owner was actually pretty fun to watch. But anyways, which brings us to the effects. This movie has more special effects than the first two. It's way gorier. It's way grosser. The kill count might not be as high, but again, this isn't a slasher movie. We've got laser beams. We've got 80s face melting. We've got skull crushing. I mean, we've got some kills, and they're pretty hard, pretty hardcore. On the other hand, the music in this film makes me want to smash my television. I think this might be the real reason the film actually flopped. It was just so irritating. Like, don't buy the fucking soundtrack. I know everybody that's going to buy that vinyl, well, I'm sure those are already gone now, but those vinyl records of the Halloween series, fucking avoid this one for God's sake. It's not worth it. I know you're a completist. Just don't. The writing was actually pretty original. Now, this film does stand on its own, but I do have to say that, okay, let's be real. If the main plot involves these Halloween masks, why would every kid want the same masks? Like, I get they got the commercial, but they should have had a bigger selection at least, like, or something, because not every kid is going to want to be a witch, a pumpkin, or a skeleton. Like, that's just pretty generic. The witch mask being the fucking really cool one. That one's awesome. But still, like, I just don't think that makes any sense. I think my favorite part is Tom Atkins just drinking constantly and being a pussy hound and completely ignoring his children and his practice. Like, such a hilarious character. Like, it's just so funny. And then at the end when he's trying to, well, I can't give that away. Damn it. Anyways, the ending is perfectly bleak. I'm just going to say that, and I loved it. So, I didn't like this when I first saw it, but in some ways, it's pretty much my favorite in the franchise. In some ways, I'm going to give it 7.5 out of 10. I don't really consider it a real Halloween movie, but I love it anyway, all the same. So, that's why it gets a lower rating, because I love it, but I don't, whatever, you know what I mean? I'm trying to think within the franchise. So, I do like it a lot, though. But, thank you for listening, you guys. And, I hope you're all doing really well. And hopefully I'll see you tomorrow at midnight. Stay tuned for Rotting Flesh movie reviews.
That Midget production.